All right, welcome back. We are going to do this unit on angles. So you have your new packet. We are on the very first page, Reteach 1-4, and there are a few definitions at the top here. Adjacent angles. They have the same vertex. A vertex is the point right here where they meet. So same vertex, and they share a common side. So this is the common side they share. Adjacent means they touch, just like a next door neighbor touches your yard. Linear pair are two adjacent angles. So see how these are touching? They're touching through this shared piece right here. Their non-common sides are opposite rays. So this is this line down here makes a 180-degree angle, and they are adjacent. They touch each other, and then the non-common sides are opposite rays. So you can think of this as one line, or you can think of it as a ray going this way and a ray going this way. But it truly does make a line because it's a linear pair, and a linear pair means it makes a perfect line. This is a perfect line with a 180-degree measure. And then the last one is vertical angles are non-adjacent angles, so they don't touch each other, formed by two intersecting lines. So 5 and 6 are vertical angles, and those angles measure the same length. The two lines that create these vertical angles intersect right here. So the opposite angles are also vertical angles, this and this. This would be the same measure as this, and they are vertical angles. So it says, tell whether 7 and 8 are adjacent, adjacent and linear, or not adjacent. Well, these definitely touch. And do they form a 180-degree angle? Yep. So they are adjacent and linear. In number 2, these definitely touch. They do not form a straight line though, so they are just adjacent. And the last one, they are not adjacent. They're not vertical either. They have to have the exact same lines to be vertical, like this. These would be vertical, so these are not vertical. Okay, so we're going to look at the next picture and decide if they are adjacent, adjacent and linear, or not adjacent. So 5 and 4, they are definitely adjacent, but they do not form a straight line. They form, it looks like either a right angle or something close. So these are only adjacent. 1 and 4, that would be this and this. Those are not adjacent. They're not vertical either. They are just nothing. And 2 and 3, that's this right here. See how you can draw that straight line? That's 180 degrees. So that's how you know these are adjacent. And they form a linear pair. They form a line. Okay, we're going to name a pair of vertical angles. So, 5 and 2, those would be vertical angles. 1 and 6, those would be vertical angles. And that's it. So 1 and 6 have the same measure, and 5 and 2 also have the same measure. A linear pair. If you draw a straight line, 3 and 4 form a linear pair. You could draw a straight line here. 1 and 5 form a linear pair. On the other side, 2 and 6 form a linear pair. If you draw the straight line here, 1 and 2 form a linear pair. And one more on this side, 5 and 6 also form a linear pair. So all of those two add up to give you 180 degrees. And the last question says an angle adjacent to 4. So there's only one angle that touches 4 that's adjacent to it, and that's angle 3. Go ahead and flip your page. So, complementary means the two angles add up to 90 degrees. If you put a piece of paper in the corner here, you can test that it's exactly 90 degrees. Supplementary, that's complementary, means that they add up to 180 degrees. So they form a straight line. So you could put an edge of a piece of paper up to see if that happens. So in number 10, you have two 45-degree angles. 45 plus 45 is 90. So these are complementary. In 11, you have 110 and another 110. Those are not supplementary, and they're also not complementary. And it doesn't ask about vertical angles, but they are vertical angles. So these are the same measure. They don't add to give you anything, so the actual answer is none. They're vertical angles. So number 12 says the complement of S. So complements mean they add to give you 90 degrees. S is 56, so you would have to do 90 minus 56. And if you remember how to subtract, you borrow. So this 0 is now a 10. So 10 minus 6 is 4, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So 34 degrees would be the measure of the complement of S, and that would make this come straight up so that it's a 90-degree angle. Supplement adds to 180 degrees. So we're going to do 180 minus 56. Borrow the 8. That's a 10. 6 from 10 is 4. 5 from 7 is 2. So 124 degrees. And a supplement makes a straight line. So you're thinking about what would the measure of that angle be. It should be more than 90. So that's a good way to check yourself. Complement of R. R is 22. Complements add to give you 90 degrees. So 90 minus 22, again, we're going to borrow from the 9, so this is a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 68 degrees. Complements make 90-degree angles. It's going to be something like that. So that does look like a 68-degree angle. Supplement. 180 minus 22. Borrow from the 8. This is now a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. That's a 158-degree angle. That's this straight angle. It is quite a big angle, so that makes some good sense. And in 16, it says the measure of angle LMN and UVW are complements. Find the measure if one of them is 3x plus 5 and the other is 2x. So we know that in complements they add to give you 90 degrees. So basically we're going to take 3x plus 5 and we're going to add the 2x, and together you should get 90 degrees. So we have this lovely linear problem. So whenever you have something like this, you want to put your like terms together. 3x and 2x is 5x. We're going to bring down the 5 because it's still hanging out there. And we're going to bring down this equals 90. So we want to get all of our numbers on one side, all of the letters on the other. So this 5x wants to be alone. We're going to take away 5. So that means 5x is left on the left. And on the right, we have 85. And then you would divide by 5. So x is, let's just do this on the side here. 5 goes into 8 once. That would give you 3 left over. Bring down the 5. And then 5 goes into 35 7 times with no remainder. So your answer is 17. You can actually test and see if this is right by taking 17, plugging it in to both of these x's, and seeing that yes, in fact, it does give you 90. Alright, so you are now going to work on practice A and problem solving. And tomorrow in class we'll start these together, but if you have some time tonight, you can definitely start the practice A. Hopefully this makes great sense. Have a wonderful night, and your first sheet should be completed front and back.